fatal heart impacts, past painful scars. In fact, I blast tasteful bars and pass. I back up my actions, fact don't ask, grab reactions, jacked attack with every word, then act with class as they hear me snap. I got nothing to lose, cause I fought and felt the bruise. Now I'm not the one confused, call the shots and they produce. I ain't lost, I'm finally loose. Pick a new silver excuse, I need the views to boost me to a new abuse of being used. Everybody wants a piece now, y'all can rest in peace now. You're dead to me, so peace out. Remember, you're discreet now. Get ready for defeat now.
Alrighty. Hello everybody. This is Kirusho here. And now, whenever we last left off with this series, we had Izuku Midoriya. At the age of 11 years old, he has discovered the Hulk, an untapped part of his quirk. Now, Midoriya, he discovered the Hulk whenever Katsuki was put in danger by people who did not like Midoriya. Now, Midoriya then did push these kids aside as the Hulk and grab Katsuki and run home. However, whenever he did get home, he was surrounded by pro-heroes and police officers before he was talked down by Katsuki. Now, we do actually cut to the next day or a few hours later. Actually, let's say a few hours later. Midoriya does wake up in a room, and he is confused. Now, this would be whenever Mitsuki and Katsuki are able to walk in, along with at least a man with long black hair. Now, when this does happen, Midoriya, he does look at the man and ask him who exactly he is. The man talking about how his name is Mr. Aizawa, and that currently he's being held in hero custody. Huh? Why? What do you mean why? You know why. No, I don't. The last thing I remember is... Midoriya's eyes widening as he does actually ask Katsuki if she's okay. Yeah, I'm fine. The doctors actually treated my injuries a couple hours ago. Her then actually just holding up her arms and talking about how they weren't as bad as they previously thought. Now, Midoriya does just ask what happened. Did he get into a fight? Is that why he's here? Kid, a fight is putting it delicately. You almost killed those kids. What? But I don't understand. I don't remember anything. You seriously don't know? Know what? Izuku, you kind of... Well, you know, with your quirk. Huh? Okay, kid, you're just as confused as... Well, we are. Him then actually holding up a phone and saying that this is from a police body cam, as it does show Midoriya and Katsuki. Midoriya asking who that giant thing is, or what that giant thing is, as Mr. Aizawa goes on stating that it is Midoriya. Him confused as he does actually watch Katsuki talk him down, before he just starts to shrink. Now, Mr. Aizawa can tell that the boy, he genuinely doesn't know about this. He doesn't remember it. I see. You also called yourself Hulk. Hulk? Wait, that sounds familiar. I see. So, now, young man, we do want to ask you a few questions. And after that, well, we'll figure out where to go from there. Do you understand? Sure. Now, Midoriya, he is taken to go see a doctor. The doctor performing tests and examining Midoriya. As he does perform his test, and they do find out a little bit more about Midoriya's quirk. Now, they did not find it out at first, or they probably didn't test for it, but Midoriya, he's currently emitting small amounts of gamma radiation. In fact, the amount he's radiating is just as much as a banana, and it's kind of confusing. Well, he's emitting as much radiation as a banana, basically. Now, this is quite weird. And they actually do ask Midoriya more questions about his strength, to which he doesn't really know how to explain it. Now, with that being said, we do actually have Principal Nezu and a man standing there outside of a room, where Midoriya is talking to a pro hero and giving them all the information he does know. As Nezu and the man do go over Midoriya's little case. So let me get this straight. You believe that this kid's one of them? Yes, we do. In fact, the boy's unpredictable at this point. I want to conduct a further test. Do you know why he... The man just thinking. The thing was called the Hulk, right? Do you know why he hulked out? Hulked out. Is that the term we are going to be using? It seems right, doesn't it? Or appropriate. That is correct, then. We do not currently know why he hulked out. In fact, that is a mystery to even us. However, using a few basic things and breaking down what happened, Midoriya didn't lose control until he found out that someone was in danger. Somebody close to him. So, can you tell me what emotions you would feel in that moment? Rage. Yes, exactly. Now, I believe that Midoriya's strength, or hulking out, could have come from him getting angry. And that would actually prove to be very bad. Alright. So, if the boy did do that, do you know what that does make him? Well, what is it? You're speculating that he is a mutant, correct? Yes, I am. Now, I believe that this boy is a mutant. We've had multiple reports of strange things going on with quirks. And even retesting Midoriya now, he's exactly what he thought he was. He is a false positive. His quirk registered differently, or his mutation. Now, these mutants have been popping up all over the globe. And I want to know exactly why. Well, there is really no explanation, other than basic evolution. Is that what you're coming up with, Mouse Man? That is correct. Except I am an animal with a quirk. You should be aware of that. Touche. Now, I believe that Midoriya, he's a mutant. And we need to test him more and find out more about this. No, I don't think that that would be a good idea. Think about it. The boy can't control himself. You want to perform test. Why? So he can go on another rampage? Hurt more people? Possibly kill civilians? That would be very, very bad. Well then, tell me what you plan to do. Well, it is quite easy. The traumatic events this boy has faced in his past do seem to be quite heavy. And if you believe that pushing him further down this path is a good idea, I would have to disagree with you. The boy is a very sensitive soul. Look at him. These two both looking into the room. As Midoriya is very shy, and he's trying to answer the questions as best as he can. Now, with that being said, the man does actually somewhat begin to agree with Nezu. They can try it Nezu's way first. And then he does go walking into the room, along with Mr. Aizawa and a few other pros. Now, Midoriya does look at the man, and he's surprised. Hi. Hello, Izuku. My name is Mr. Nezu, and behind me are a few members of my staff. Staff? You're a teacher? Actually, I'm the principal of UA High School. And I do want to help you out with your little case. I didn't mean to hurt those guys. It was Hulk. He was trying to help save Katsuki. Oh, no. We are aware of that. We are not here for that. You must calm down. We actually do want to help you learn to control the Hulk. Control him? But me and him, we're not the same person. Now, this would be where Nezu does actually tell Midoriya that, of course, they are the same person. The Hulk doesn't just reside in Midoriya's head. It is a part of his quirk, is it not? I don't know. Anyways, young man, now you must listen. I will be calling in a specialized friend who can help you. Along with that, we can actually set up courses with a certain therapist I do know. Now, along with that, I do want to ask you a few questions, if you'd be so willing to answer them. Okay. Now, Nezu does sit down, as he does tell everyone to simply just leave. Allow him to handle this. Now, with that being said, this would be where Nezu does begin to start talking to Izuku, asking him about the Hulk. Now, Nezu then does slowly build up to a few questions. Now, eventually it goes from the Hulk to how are things at home to how were things back then. And then Nezu asks a question that does actually strike a nerve with Midoriya, as Midoriya's hands are on the table. Nezu asking about Izuku's birth mother, Inko Midoriya. Now, Midoriya does get a little bit sad thinking about that, as Nezu then does actually ask about Hasashi Midoriya, his father. Midoriya's hands actually begin to turn green, as Midoriya is actually grabbing the table and squeezing down. Now, Mr. Nezu does ask Midoriya to stay calm, and that he does want to test a little bit of something, telling him that this is all part of what he does want to know. And that Midoriya then actually just bringing his hands up and then slamming them down on the table, as they do break. Now, well, the table breaks, not Midoriya's hands. Now, Midoriya just screams, "Shut up!" in a booming voice, and Nezu does take a step back. Now, he does try and talk the boy down. However, the Hulk does try to manifest. Now, the moment this does actually happen, Midoriya breaks free, and he actually does go leaping out of the side of the building. Now, Nezu does actually just walk over to the broken part of the building and look out, watching as the Hulk does land before just leaping up into the air. Now, that basically did just confirm it. Izuku and the Hulk, they are two sides of the same coin. The Hulk is there to protect Izuku's mind, protect him from his own trauma. So, that is what they do need to work on. Now, pro heroes do come into the room. And then, we actually do have one pro that does ask Nezu about what he does need to do. Nezu informing All Might to simply just follow the boy, and make sure he does not hurt anyone. Now, with that, All Might actually does go to leap off, and run after Midoriya, as Midoriya does actually land in the middle of downtown. As he does so, people do look at him. As whenever Midoriya did land, he did actually send the car flying. The moment he did so, that car went smashing onto another parked car. And someone did actually come running out of a building and shout, "What the hell is his problem? He just totaled his car." Midoriya looking at the man, as the man just does look back at Midoriya. Now, the man actually does just go to back away as Midoriya does start making his way towards him. And this man does just inform Midoriya not to hurt him. Now, there actually is inside Midoriya's head, where Midoriya, he's looking up at the Hulk who's not facing him. Now, Midoriya does just go to reach out and place a hand on the Hulk, telling him that he needs to back away and to just leave him alone. The Hulk actually looking at this man a bit confused. Now, the Hulk's confusion turns into anger. The Hulk bringing up his hands and actually going to scream at the man as he just go to try and punch down. Midoriya screaming as loud as he can within his own mind for the Hulk to stop, and actually trying to push into the Hulk's back. Now, the moment that did actually happen, the Hulk did actually go to stop his fist. And the moment he did stop his fist, he was knocked directly to the left by All Might. Now, All Might hit the Hulk as hard as he could, and sent Midoriya flying down the block. As the Hulk does get back up and go to shake off his head, as he just starts to get angrier. All Might trying to blitz the Hulk. Now, All Might appears directly in front of the Hulk and telling him to simply just stand down, and for Izuku to stay calm. Now, the Hulk screams out in rage, as it just says, "Puny man," before rushing at him. All Might going in and actually going to try and punch away at the Hulk. Him finding that this time, when he does actually punch at the Hulk's chest, nothing does happen. The Hulk casually sucking him directly across his face and sending him flying into the ground. As All Might does get back up and actually go to rush in at a higher percentage. Now, All Might is trying to calm Midoriya down, but subsequently, him and more pro heroes that are trying to stop him are just pissing him off more. All Might constantly just blitzing around him, and, well, not being able to punch him, it pisses him off. When a pro hero tried blasting fire at him, or Best Genius, for example, would try and wrap fibers around him. Yeah. If you think restraining the Hulk would be easy, you are dead wrong. Now, Midoriya does swiftly just take out each one of these pro heroes with ease, as he actually does have his eyes start to glow green, and his body is beginning to emit more and more amounts of gamma. As Midoriya just does bring his hands up, as All Might is actually rushing around him this time. As Midoriya does just bring his hands up and smash them both together. The moment he actually does perform a thunderclap. And every window within a 3-mile radius is shattered from the immense force. Now, with that, Midoriya and All Might do both fight, and All Might is actually starting to struggle to keep up. If he pushes himself anymore, he might go beyond his time limit. And he will soon revert back to normal. Once that happens, he cannot take down Midoriya. Now, with that, we actually have one of the bystanders who are watching, as police have set up barricades and telling them that All Might will handle the villain. As a man does walk up with a hoodie, telling them about how that's not a villain. before he does just jump over the barricade. Now, the moment he does so, a cop does try and grab him by his shoulder. However, the man just shrugs the cop off, as the man tries to explain, as he's walking past him, that he can help. Now, with that, there is Midoriya's battle with All Might. Midoriya and All Might are going blow for blow as All Might is pushing beyond his limits. And he actually is trying to land a few hits on Midoriya's face, trying to knock him out. Now, this is what he is trying to do. However, whenever he does actually land a solid blow on Midoriya's face this time, Midoriya just reaches his hand up, grabbing directly at All Might's throat, as he does pick him up and just smash him directly down into the ground. As he does bring up his left arm, this is whenever somebody grabs him. And Midoriya does actually feel this whenever he does go to try and throw his left arm downwards into All Might. As the Hulk, his fist stops, and he does actually turn around to look. As he does so, he does go to scream as he's socked directly across his own face, and sent flying. All Might, confused and looking up, watching as there's a man standing there, bigger than him, and bigger than Midoriya. Now, with that being said, the man, he does ask All Might if he's okay. To which, All Might, he does not barely respond, talking about how he looks kind of like him. Yeah, about that, All Might. I believe I know who that kid is. Kid? Yeah. Let's just say this is a bit of a family issue, and leave it at that. But that still does not explain who you are. All Might would go on stating. Man looking down at All Might, as he pulls All Might off the ground, and tells him that the name's Abominable. And just remember that. Now, we do have Midoriya, who was sent flying through about 10 cars, 2 trucks, an oil tanker that caught on fire, and about 2 buildings, who did just get back up and was pissed off. Royally. As he does run back in. Abominable actually running past All Might and going in for Midoriya, as the two would meet in the center of the road. The moment the two actually smash into each other, a shockwave is sent out. And All Might just watch this go on. Abominable is trying to fight against this boy. And what he said, a family matter? Does that mean that they're related? Similar abilities. It's possible. Now, we do have Abominable who actually does smash Midoriya upwards into the face before trying to actually jab him downwards in the ribs, along with actually trying to tell Midoriya to stay in control. Midoriya is screaming in his face, as he actually does throw his head forwards, smashing it directly into Abominable's. Now, the moment that actually does happen, Midoriya actually does break his right arm free, smashing him directly into the ribs, and sending him flying backwards. As he actually does go to try and step forwards once again, Midoriya just does smash him directly upwards with the left. Before throwing out both of his hands, he does another thunderclap. Abominable actually having his ears, or his eardrums, burst, as they begin to try and regenerate. In that moment, whenever he does actually try and bring his hands up to his ears, Midoriya just start wailing on him as hard as he can, throwing a punch downwards directly into his face. As Midoriya just sit there, smashing him over and over and over again. As we do have somebody else who does come in. This time, another thunderclap is heard. And All Might, he actually is told to get down by a certain person. As someone else does come in, they smash it directly into Midoriya's face. And the moment they actually do that, they actually do then swipe Midoriya across the face with their nail. Now, this temporarily blinds the Hulk, along with bursting his eardrums, as the Hulk is hit with an immense amount of force, sending him flying directly up into the air. As All Might is looking on to see 3 giant behemoths, as one does help Abominable to his feet, before going to look back upwards at Midoriya, as this Hulk, or this old man who has, it seems, just goes leaping off and smashes directly upwards into Midoriya while he's in the air, as Abominable actually does leap off himself. Now, these two teaming up against Midoriya, they are able to take him down. And eventually, after about a fifth of the city destroyed, a good part of the forest is obliterated, and a few other factors, Midoriya is taken down. As we do have in the forest, one of our pro heroes and the military have arrived to see Izuku just laying there in a crater with his head tilted backwards, as Abominable is shrinking down, along with the giant green man with a beard. Now, as he is shrinking down, he does at least have his pants, which are the only thing that apparently stretch from his outfit. Along with the old man, he's just wearing a hoodie and a pair of pants made of stretchy material. As the military do roll up and ask about who they are and about what they just did. Now, Abominable does actually walk up and go to face the general, as he does explain to him one simple thing. They were taking care of something that they couldn't handle, and that if the general even tries to, he's not going to understand it. I would be correct in assuming that you're mutants, aren't you? Yes, you would. In fact, this is a bit more complicated. This is my nephew. How do you know he's your nephew? Because he's a spitting image of my father right here whenever he was younger. Especially when he's bulked out like that. Alright, well, we do have to take him into custody. No, you're not. Now, the general just does look at this man, as he says, "Excuse me?" Talking about how Midoriya almost, if not, he did kill people. They're still going through the rubble from the city. To which the man does explain. Midoriya has no handle on his abilities. He's fighting like a wild animal. And he should be aware of how a wild animal fights when it's cornered. So, they take Midoriya in and he destroys a military base. Billions upon billions of dollars, if not millions at the very least. So, how does he think that would work? Besides, if it took the combined power of both of them to take him down, they aren't going to be able to do a damn thing. Now, with that being said, a whole lot of things do go into this. The Hero Association, they are technically to blame for this instance of the Hulk. Principal Nezu does take full responsibility, talking about how Midoriya passed one of his tests, however, subsequently causing him to go into a rage mode. Now, with that being said, the blame is still on Midoriya. However, the Hero Association, in the eyes of the public, are the ones who cause Midoriya to freak out. Since you mentioned a abusive man who beat his own child to that child. Something that boy should never have to hear about again in his life. Now, there is a lot of sympathy in the eyes of the public. However, the governments, they don't believe about this part. The boy still killed people, did he not? Now, with that being said, Izuku would wake up somewhere, as he does jump up to somebody who actually is sitting there, asking him if he's okay. Who are you? Oh, hi. Well, that's a bit complicated, actually. Uh, how is it complicated? Well, I'm your cousin. Hmm? Cousin? But I don't have an uncle. Now, the man would walk into the room, as he does try and explain to Midoriya that actually he does, along with a grandfather. And, well, it's about time he learns about the rest of the family. Now, with that being said, I do hope you guys enjoyed, and have an amazing night. Catch you guys in the next part.